Welcome back to Speak English Daily, your guide to understanding yourselves and the world around you. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches every single one of us, often in moments when we feel most vulnerable, most exposed. It's about that swirling storm inside, that feeling of being completely swept away. Today, we're talking about how to control your emotions. Have you ever felt it? That surge of anger that makes your hands clench? That wave of sadness that feels like a physical weight? Or that gnawing anxiety that tightens your chest? In those moments, it can feel like your emotions are in the driver's seat, completely overriding your logic, your intentions, even your best self. It's a universal struggle. We've all been there, saying or doing something we immediately regret, all because an emotion felt too big, too powerful to contain. The very idea of controlling emotions can sometimes feel intimidating, even impossible. Does it mean we should suppress them, shove them down, pretend they're not there? Absolutely not. That's not control. That's emotional repression, and it leads to a whole host of other problems. What we're talking about today is emotional management. It's about learning to understand, navigate, and skillfully respond to your emotions rather than being ruled by them. It's about taking back the steering wheel. This isn't about becoming a robot devoid of feeling. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent, equipped with the tools to acknowledge your feelings, process them in healthy ways, and choose your reactions intentionally. This ability is a superpower, influencing your relationships, your career, your well-being, and ultimately, your peace of mind. So if you're ready to explore this vital skill, let's begin. Understanding your emotional landscape. Emotions are signals, not enemies. Before we can learn to control our emotions, we first need to understand them. Think of your emotions not as enemies to be vanquished, but as powerful messengers. They are internal signals, constantly communicating vital information about your needs, your values, and your environment. Every emotion serves a purpose. Anger, for instance, often signals a boundary violation or a perceived injustice. It tells you something feels wrong or unfair. Sadness often accompanies loss or disappointment, prompting you to slow down, grieve, and seek comfort or connection. Fear is a primal alarm, warning you of potential danger, urging you caution or preparation. Even emotions we often label as negative are rich with information. Without fear, we'd walk into traffic. Without sadness, we couldn't process loss. The crucial distinction here is between feeling an emotion and acting on it. You can feel intense anger without smashing something. You can feel profound sadness without isolating yourself completely. The emotion itself is a natural, often instantaneous biological response. It's what you do with that emotion that defines your emotional control. To understand this better, it helps to briefly consider how our brains work. We have what's often called the emotional brain, the amygdala, which reacts instantly, assessing threats and triggering primal responses. And then we have the thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logic, planning, and regulating those initial emotional impulses. In moments of intense emotion, our emotional brain can hijack our thinking brain, leading us to react impulsively. The goal of emotional control is to strengthen the connection between these two parts of your brain, allowing your thinking brain to step in before the emotional storm takes over. This understanding is empowering because it shifts the narrative. You're not bad for feeling angry or sad. You're human. The work lies in learning to listen to the message of the emotion without letting it dictate your every action. The core strategy, the pause. If there's one fundamental tool for emotional control, it is the pause. This simple act is deceptively powerful. It's the moment you consciously create between feeling an emotion and reacting to it. In that space, you reclaim your power. Think of it like an internal stop, drop, and roll for your emotions. Stop. When you feel that familiar surge of emotion, stop whatever you're doing. Physically halt. Don't speak. Don't act. Drop. Drop into your body. Where do you feel the emotion? Is it a tightness in your chest, a clenching in your jaw, heat in your face? Acknowledge these physical sensations without judgment. Then roll your attention to your breath. Take 3 deep, conscious breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly expand. Exhale slowly through your mouth, feeling the air leave your body. This simple act is your superpower. It physically calms your nervous system, pulling you out of the immediate fight or flight response, and it gives your thinking brain a chance to catch up. This isn't about making the emotion disappear. It's about preventing an impulsive, regrettable reaction. That tiny pause allows you to gain clarity. What's actually happening? Access choice. What's the most effective way to respond? Reduce intensity. The initial emotional wave often subsides slightly, allowing for more rational thought. Practice this pause not just in moments of high emotional intensity, but in everyday situations. Before you send that quick email, before you interrupt someone, before you jump to conclusions. The more you practice pausing in small moments, the more accessible it becomes when you face bigger emotional challenges. This pause is the fundamental first step in creating that space between your trigger and your intentional response. Practical tools for emotional management beyond the pause. Once you've mastered the art of the pause, you've opened the door to more sophisticated emotional management. Now let's equip you with practical tools to navigate your emotional landscape. 1. Identify and label, naming your emotional experience. This might sound basic, but it's profound. Often when we feel overwhelmed, we just say, "I'm feeling bad" or "I'm stressed." But those labels are too broad to be helpful. Research shows that naming your emotion accurately actually reduces its intensity. It engages your prefrontal cortex, bringing conscious awareness to the often subconscious emotional response. Instead of "I'm angry," try to be more specific. Am I feeling frustrated, annoyed, outraged, betrayed? Instead of "I'm sad," is it grief, disappointment, loneliness, or wistfulness? Use an emotional wheel if it helps. You can find these online. They list a wide range of emotions, breaking them down into more nuanced categories. The simple act of saying, "I am feeling deep disappointment right now," rather than just "I'm upset," creates clarity. It helps you understand what's truly going on within you, making the emotion feel less amorphous and overwhelming. 2. Explore the root. Asking why with compassion. Once you've identified the specific emotion, the next step is to gently inquire about its source. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What triggered it? What underlying need isn't being met? What fear is at play? If it's anger, was a boundary crossed? Do I feel disrespected? Am I trying to protect something? If it's sadness, what loss am I experiencing? What expectation was unmet? Do I feel unloved or disconnected? If it's anxiety, what am I afraid of? What's the worst case scenario I'm imagining? Do I feel a lack of control? This is not about blaming yourself or others. It's about curious self-inquiry. Often an intense emotion is a signal that a deeper need, like the need for safety, connection, autonomy, or respect, is not being met. Understanding this underlying need is crucial because it helps you address the root cause rather than just reacting to the symptom. 3. Challenge your thoughts, reshaping your narrative. Emotions are often fueled by our thoughts. Two people can experience the exact same event, but their emotional reactions will differ wildly based on how they interpret it. This is where cognitive reappraisal comes in, the ability to reframe negative thoughts. When you're caught in an emotional spiral, your thoughts can become distorted. You might jump to conclusions, catastrophize, or take things personally. Once you've paused and identified the emotion, examine the thoughts attached to it. Ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? Is there any other way to interpret the situation? Am I making assumptions? What's the evidence for this thought? And what's the evidence against it? Is this thought helping me or hurting me? For example, if someone doesn't reply to your text immediately, your initial thought might be, they're ignoring me, they don't care. This thought might trigger feelings of hurt or